guys, in this video we're going to talk to you a little bit about borders. I know that you guys hear us talking a lot about the borders on the pins, and I'm going to show you what we're talking about when we mention that, and also when not to worry about a border. So when we're talking about borders, what we're talking about is do you see how the pattern is on the back of the pin? And you can see how this waffle pattern or this Mickey head waffling just goes right to the edge of the pin and kind of just drops off. And then over here on the pin, there's this weird border all the way around where the Mickey head waffle pattern stops short. And if you notice, that border pattern continues all the way around the pin. What that's from when companies fake Disney pins. They take a screenshot and they shrink it down and then try to print it on the back of a pin versus etching it the way Disney does. Disney etches on the backs of all those pins that they create. It costs a little bit more. It is a little bit more labor intensive, but you just get a nicer quality pin. Also, if you notice in that shrink down process, look at how different our Mickey head icon waffle patterns look here on the back of it. See how over here these are nice and round and the ears look symmetrical and they look like they're actually part of the design? Where over here the ears look so far apart and they're almost pinched off that Mickey's face section. Again, that's from that screenshotting, shrinking down, and trying to print instead of etching on the backs of the pins. Here we have another example of a border. Unfortunately, I don't have the similar exact pin to show you, but I will show you the great example of what I'm talking about on borders with this one. So when we pick this one up, right away you can see that all the way around here, there is this border where that crosshatch waffling doesn't just drop off to the edge of the pin. Do you see that? And then when we pick up this pin, you can see that crosshatch waffling just drops right off to the edge of the pin. So that tells us that that's an authentic pin. So finding borders on pins can be a great way to identify a fake versus a real pin, but there are some cases where a border doesn't necessarily pose a concern, like such as this pin. This is a pin that I purchased myself from Epcot Food and Wine, and it's such a beautiful pin. And then when you flip it over, you can see that at the top there is a little tiny border right here. That is not the kind of border that we're concerned about. This is probably just a little bit of a production error. We're concerned when we get those really wide borders all the way around the pins. So if you have a little bit of a border like that, don't worry about it. Doesn't mean your pin's fake. It just means it could be a little bit of a production error. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about borders. Please share our videos out where you can, and happy collecting.